Alright, so this is a review of the Sonic add-on for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. And I've used this mod quite a bit, obviously because of the Sonic map I've been working on, but I never gave it a proper review. So to start things off, this mod definitely does everything that it advertises. You get to play as the Sonic characters from the mashup DLC that they released a couple years ago, and the cool thing about it is you also get some stage elements. And for its first version, it's pretty much okay. Like, it's okay. It's really good for what it is, and I'm glad it's still getting updates, because if it was just this, it would be kinda disappointing. But it definitely works well with the Sonic texture pack. One thing I really like is like the different character abilities, but I'm not talking about like the characters being different from each other, but if you played the original DLC, Sonic doesn't have the homing attack there. And Knuckles' glide actually isn't automatic, it only works after you use his punching move. So I like how you can manually use his glide, and how some characters work differently. I love that they changed Shadow's chaos control, because when I was playing the original DLC map, I thought they got him confused for Silver. I'm glad they changed how his chaos control works in the game. But that's about it for like major compliments, because if I wanted to compliment the game, this video would be... Well, if I wanted to compliment the add-on, sorry, this video would be way too long. Like, no, if it was just compliments. One major bug I know is Shadow destroying level assets with his ability. And that's actually about it for major bugs on my end. I know when I was playing, I dealt with a bug where the character models weren't loading. And then there's another bug where the goal ring will constantly teleport you. Even if you're like nowhere near the goal ring, you'll keep getting teleported back to spawn. That's pretty annoying, but I'm sure, like, this is the first version and they already announced another update, so I'm sure that's going to be dealt with. Moving on to my own ideas for updates. I have a lot to talk about during this. One of them, well, before, I have criticisms on some ideas a lot of people think would be really good updates, and I don't disagree with them. I'm just trying to think of, like, on the standpoint of the game add-on. A lot of people want other characters, and to be fair, I do also want other characters, but I don't see them doing that. I could be proven wrong. Technically, they can add any character, well, as far as I know, they can just add any other character whenever they feel like it, unless it's like a licensing issue, since it is Sega's property. But I just don't really see them adding anyone outside of like the main cast, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and Shadow. But if they were to add a new character, like if it was just one new character, Cream the Rabbit should definitely be added, since technically they're part of Team Sonic and were until right after Heroes. They just vanished, and they came back in Dream Team. But to be fair, that is technically another mainline Sonic character, even though they're no longer mainline. To start things off, I'd give Cream a passive ability, since she has the pet Chow Cheese. She'd be able to, like, the Chow would actually be able to collect nearby rings, almost like a magnet. So whenever you're near rings, the Chow just kind of goes off and collects them, which would be a nice passive ability and make the gameplay a lot easier, especially if you get hit. So for their crouch ability, instead of having them deal damage like everyone else, it would actually only like stun enemies. But the move itself would be you charge a spinning move where Cream and Cheese would kind of spin around. Well, more of Cheese just spinning around you, and everything they hit would just get stunned. Or I guess in the game's case, they'd get severe slowness for like 2 or 3 seconds. And then their jumping ability would be similar to Amy's double jump, but you'd be able to glide down like Knuckles. However, it wouldn't actually last long. It would be like a 2 or 3 second glide, and then you drop down. And I could see them adding this character back into the base original DLC map if they could. I don't know if they can, but that if we could have another character, that's what I'd do. Now, the next thing that I want to add is actually something I suggested in the comments, and it wasn't just like the super form stuff or any of the basic level assets things that other people were talking about, like the 360 loops, which I don't know why people are really thinking about for Minecraft. I mean, technically they had it in the original map, so I'll give them that. But also grind rails. I hope y'all know how to code those in there. I hope, like, when y'all suggest stuff like that, I hope you know how it's going to work, like how you are going to actually get it to work in the game. I have an idea on how grind rails could work. They'd probably have like minecart physics, but you can't just suggest outlandish stuff. Like, you still gotta remember, this is Minecraft Bedrock Edition. This isn't Java. But at the same time, you know, I'm gonna give it to you because you know a lot more than I don't. I don't play Minecraft this much. But basically what I suggested was to have the gears from Sonic Adventure 2, or not exactly the gears from Sonic Adventure 2, but a similar system where it's like upgrades. Instead of you collecting more rings for these upgrades, there will be another resource you need to collect, which are red rings. Which, if you played Sonic games, you know they exist. I don't know if they're in Frontiers. No, they are in Frontiers. They're at the cyberspace stages. But basically, the red rings would be a lot rarer than regular rings. But you can collect them, and then, I don't know, not the select screen, but there'll be another thing that you build, and you can go get upgrades, like the light dash boots. Boots would work is, once you like get the upgrade and you transform into the character, the only slot that isn't full on your like armor bar is the item slot, the extra item slot, you know, the one where you put the totem or a torch, arrow, shield in. Yeah, that's the only slot that's free, and that could be like replaced with the gear that you purchased when you transform. And the light dash boot specifically would work like if you're collecting a large amount of rings in a small period of time, you get an extra speed boost and temporary invincibility. You get the idea, just like gimmicks like that. Another thing I would suggest is the next thing I would add would be the Master Emerald. And it would be similar to Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, where the Master Emerald is shattered. Like, when you start the game, there's no full Master Emerald. You have to go around looking for the pieces. And I don't know if it should be in, like, ores, or there should actually be pieces on the map, and you have to build, like, a locator. And it would work similar to Sonic Adventure 2, where it beeps green when you're kind of close but really far, yellow when you get closer, and red when you're right on it. But you collect the pieces, and you'd be able to craft, like, the Master Emerald. And how that works is it's literally like a beacon, but for Sonic characters specifically. So when you have the Master Emerald down, it literally works as a beacon, like it ups your stats. But how it would work is you can go up to the Master Emerald and exchange rings for temporary boosts, like Sonic specifically would have a higher max speed, Knuckles could break more blocks, Tails could fly higher, Amy, maybe she has a second double jump, I don't know. Think of all like the extra abilities you could add to a character and just make them purchasable in this Master Emerald beacon shop like mechanic. Next thing we're adding is more Eggman stuff, like level traps and things of that sort. But the one I want to add most of all is the thing from Sonic 1, well, the thing from classic Sonic games. I don't know what it's called, but it's like when you beat the level, or no, it's when you beat the Eggman boss actually, and there's this little machine that you got to release all the animals from. They should add that into like having it spawn throughout the world somewhere, and it'll give you resources when you find it. Or it could be like the trial chambers, where it'll spawn like waves of enemies or something. You gotta kill them, and then you can get the rewards from it. And then you could be able to craft your own, so if you want your own courses, you can put whatever inside of it and place it at the end of your level, and if you want a friend to go beat it for the reward, they can go across that course and they can get whatever diamonds, whatever you put inside there. Next thing I would add is like more props and environment. I don't want to say like Sonic furniture, but you get the idea. In the actual Sonic DLC map, there was like a bunch of interactable items, and it would be cool if you could craft these kind of interactable things that you could place around your world to give more of a Sonic aesthetic. Like the goal post, it will spin around when you run through it. You could even have like a Phantom Ruby prop that when you interact with it, it does like a glitchy illusion effect on your screen. You know, just think of all those things that were in the original map and other things you'd like to see. You get the idea. It's just like props. And as for quality of life changes, I would definitely add more settings to the settings menu. I know you can technically disable like block breaking when you turn off mob griefing in settings. However, it would be better if there was just a setting in total where you could just turn off being able to break blocks with your abilities and turn off being able to break certain blocks while running. So you can keep the world, like if you have a special farm or something, you won't accidentally destroy any of your builds by running or using your abilities. That's all really. That's all for those. Unless they add like more features, I doubt they really can add more settings. But yeah, that's all I have for this. I'd say this mod's pretty good. If I was to rate it out of 5 stars, it'd definitely be a 4.5. Only because of the price. It's kind of priced a little high. Like, it's literally priced the same amount as the map, I think. And it's nowhere near the amount of content. But technically speaking, with this and the texture pack, you could remake the whole map and more. And also the fact that this mod is getting updates too. So they could have like a whole new dimension planned for this, if we're being real. There's like, the sky's the limit right now, unless they actually say that this is the limit. Like, they say, yeah, we can have no more than this many characters. We can't actually include level assets. We can't add boss fights. So like, unless they say something like we can't, the sky's the limit from right here.